Listen now. I think just because for some reason it didn't pick up my mic. Is everything working now? One second. Yeah, can y'all hear me now? Cool, cool. I think just I was messing with some settings in OBS. I forgot to turn my mic back on. My apologies about that. Yeah, Coop, it's pretty early because I was supposed to play a match for my league for I used some off season for semifinals, but my opponent had some stuff come up. The reason we were playing super early for me is because she's Australian, so it was super late for her, super early for me. But just risk got to play another day. But since I'm awake, I might as well do a stream, right? Yeah, so that's why I'm up so early. Normally, I don't get up that much. Usually I get up like a couple hours later. It's not a big deal. Yeah, swallow focus punch. Um, I don't know why you'd bring that here, but I guess it's something you could do. Seems really bad, but it's a thing you could do. Morning check. Hopefully your bus ride or train ride or whatever is going well so far. Well, I guess those people are here. Let's get going right away. So first match of the day, we have Velady versus Celeste. I believe both these players are 1-0 going into this, so one of them will be moving on to brackets there. Will have to fight for their life. Velady with this really bad Trick Room team they took over versus Celeste with a more standard Rotom Scarm balance. Very nice. Coffee is good. Yeah, I had some leftover fried chicken for breakfast, and now I'm more awake, so that's good. So looking at the actual Pokemon sales outside just the Team archetypes, I am saying this Rotom does kind of sit off a lot of Velady's team. Coop, Focus Punch very much does not do, yeah. Yeah, check, Velady was a replacement, and they got stuck with this shit. And I feel kind of bad, but they are 1-0 so far, and maybe they can... Yeah, I mean, check. Yeah, they replaced. They got stuck with this dog shit. And I feel really bad because Belay has been a staple of every DDT and done pretty well. But unfortunately, they just barely missed the deadline this time, and so they are rocking whatever the hell this is. But I mean, they played it really well in their first game. Yeah, Celebi on Celestine does look very, very strong. You are right, T1. Celebi does look very, very strong here. There's not a ton Velady can do. Yeah, I mean, check it. Velady is a very good builder. I've seen like enough out of them over the tournaments that they are a very, very good DPP builder, and they like this is obviously it's a whack team, but if someone can pull it off, it's probably them. I will say Celeste Rotom looks very, very strong here. Doesn't even necessarily need to run like a specific appliance. You would probably run Heat just to hit Mamo and Bronzong. Actually, just a Fist of... Fist of Scarm sits all a lot of this team. The Porygon Z is not bad here, though. Like, try attack Thunderbolt, move to hit Rotom. And, like, just run specs and just click your buttons is not bad. Yeah, Scarm does just kind of stay on most of the team, though. I could see Crest maybe doing something. There's not a ton of disruption on Celeste outside maybe like Haunt Celebi. So Crest could maybe get something going here for sure. I know, even though obviously the team is so slow of Velady, I don't think the matchup's that bad. Yeah. Well, I don't think the matchup's that bad for Velady. It's definitely in Celeste's favor just because Velady's draft is kind of crap, but I don't think this is winnable for Velady. Let's get into the game. Velady has used the username worst DDT draft since the first DDT, and for once it's kind of applicable here. The last two times it was not very applicable, but here it kind of is. And we're going to see leads Porygon Z and Empoleon. Empoleon is going to be Fizdef, or at least more... There's going to be a Fizdef Empoleon because it's naturally more special defensive, but Porygon Z got that download boost. Thunderbolt is just going to straight up knock out the Life Orb. That's big for the Gyarados. Empoleon's going to come in, but he's just going to U-turn into the Rotom as Porygon Z is going to set up the Trick Room. Rotom is going to sub as Porygon Z Dark Pulses. Rotom's going to sub again, so he is able to stall at this Trick Room, but it's taking a lot of damage in the process. Thunderbolt is not going to knock out Porygon Z. It's probably rank bulk. Dark Pulse can take out the Rotom. This Porygon Z has gone 2 for 1 already, and there's a turn of Trick Room left. Switching out, in comes Dusknoir on the Hitmontop, just going close combat. Hitmontop at least get Toxic Dusknoir. Dusknoir's gonna get the Trick Room back up. Oh my god. Curse Dusknoir with Citrus Berry. Interest. That's gonna get a ton of chip on the Hitmontop. And very funny how it clicks thief and then it doesn't even steal an item. Very funny. And Dusknoir's going to take its Survival of another Curse. Basically gets Rampardos for free and does 25% per Armory. Making you putting in range of Head Smash? I'm not sure. Inga is going to come the Hitmontop. That's a banded Head Smash. That's a 45 even after the Intimidate. Holy shit. We see Rampardos do quite a bit of work this tournament. It's kind of wild. Like, it might move up ironically from like 3 to 4 next year if it keeps doing this. Thief, Hitmontop, stealing Bronzong's White for. Bronzong's just gonna boom though, taking out the Hitmontop. Valeni a very strong position. Porygon-Z comes back in as Celebi comes in on a Celeste side. Dark Pulse gave up Queen 88. What's gonna go? Oh, that flinch was very unfortunate. That means this Porygon-Z just wins the game. Calling the switch with Thunderbolt. Yeah, I mean that it's over. One more turn of Trick Room has to sack the Celebi. That's a Hyper Beam. Okay, I mean, I guess, yeah, you might as well. You go down anyway here. Albie, I feel like you probably should have clicked a move that's not going to potentially miss on Celebi as it could recover. Like, Hyper Beam was on, I mean, style points. I respect the aura and the style points of clicking Hyper Beam, but, like, why not just click? I guess you want to cover for the Flygon switch, but I feel like you just Dark Pulse it to cover for a potential recover from Celebi if you miss the Hyper Beam. Rampardos comes in, Flygon's going to knock out Draco Meteor, but Valle still has 2 whole Pokemon left. In comes Hariyama, and Sugar's going to Ice Punch. This Draco Meteor's not going to do much anyway. Close combat 78, even at -1 though, Draco's going to do nothing. Yeah, only 31. Yeah, I do agree to him. That's actually pretty cool. Very heads up way from Valle to be using. I think Valle's first game actually did run a adaptability though, but obviously normal stab is not that great here, so you need the coverage. That makes a lot of sense. Yep. As I was saying, Valadi's very good at prep. Every time I've seen their games, they impress me, at least in their building. And I mean, look at this crap team. You were able to position, get in the Rampardos repeatedly, get in the Porygon-Z in the right turns and quick blinds. I mean, very well played. Very well played. Not a discount Celeste though. Like, I like Celeste prep. Thief on the Hitmontop is quite nice. What's Hitmontop's starting item? Let me go. I'm trying to remember what Hitmontop's starting item was. Because obviously, Hitmontop, what was it? Right, it was, no. Was it no item? No. Oh, wait, it was still Hornet, so I'm just trying to remember what was Hitmontop? I can't remember what Hitmontop's item was before it stole something. It was just no item. No item Hitmontop, apparently. Just to steal an item for a Dusknoir or something. Sub-Roto made a lot of sense here, but yeah, I mean, I think just Valadi just built and played really well. Not much to say there. Like, really good way to just pivot into your, not pivot, like getting your breakers. I really like Curse Dusknoir as a way to keep up momentum. That's not something we see very often, but it makes sense on the Trick Room set specifically. And it's just very to let you click Curse twice without fainting instead of 3 times. Yeah, like, just very heads up build from Valadi, and that is going to launch Valadi into brackets, bring Celeste down to 1-1. If Valadi can keep this up, they can make it to redraft and get a real draft. But we will see. They're going to have to keep winning a few more games if they want to do that. We have Mr. Shell versus Canucks. I believe Mr. Shell's 1-0, Canucks 0-0. It might be reversed. I know one of them's played a game already, because I know we've already seen one of these teams. If not both. So look at this matchup. T-Tar goes fucking bonkers. I mean, yes, it's a Hitmonchan, but like, you just go out to Crest and Hitmonchan can't do shit to you. Crest is looking quite solid here, specifically a T-Wave set. You can just catch the Weave out of a T-Wave and it's neutered for the rest of the game. Mr. Shell does have Vaporeon for Cleric, but, I mean, actually, Vaporeon can quick heal up pretty easily here. The T-Tar team is no speed. Yeah, we've seen quite a few teams, we've seen quite a few teams in this tournament with, like, no speed. And some of them have been doing fine, but it's mostly like the really hard stall teams. And the really hard stall teams with like that have been very slow have been very effective. We see a lot of really good Smogon players piloting. But yeah, this team, I mean, it's more of a balanced team, and the lack of speed really hurts Like here we can just see Adamant Weavile with a ton of bulk. Probably not going to live it from Scizor, but it could. Yes, unfortunately it takes it from a Pervert, so it doesn't do a lot, but it can maybe whip like one hit from a Nidoqueen if it needs to. It'll help it take Surf from Milotic. Moltres do Jack Shane take 50% of Beers of Roar? I mean, maybe. I don't think Moltres comes into T-Chart anyway. It could come for Scizor, but like you do have Fortress Mag, so I don't think we need to bring it. Yeah, even Rainbow can run Adamant Moss, is the thing. This Flygon can just run Adamant as well. I mean, you aren't going to respect the Murkrow. With Flygon, I can't do much back to you anyway, except like maybe Brave Bird. The Gengar, Modest Gengar is actually really scary. Oh my god. This Focus Blast is going to do a ton to T-Char if it's Modest. But then again, you do still have to land the Focus Blast. HP Fire is also going to kind of sear Scizor alive. Yeah, this matchup is probably very Mr. Shell offensively, but to be fair, K'Nex does have some decent pieces. This Tyranitar is a monster in this matchup. It probably forces Hitmonchan to come, but Mr. Shell doesn't really want to drop any of their top 6 for the Hitmonchan. Maybe you drop the Fortress and just accept rocks are going to go up. That's not the worst thing because Weavile doesn't like the rocks. Rocks and Sand's going to chip it up a lot. But Weavile does do good damage, and with stuff like Gengar and Flygas potential win cons, Weavile, yeah. I mean, I don't know if Weavile's going to live the BP even with a ton of bulk. Gengar. Yeah, Gengar probably does. You're right. Like, it's not that hard to make Gengar with a banded bullet bunch of rooms of bulk, but with the combination of rocks and sand, it will be a bit harder. Trust me, Murkrow. I mean, the flying resistance of Magnezone, so if you, I mean, I could see like an offensive Murkrow coming, but honestly, if I ran out, I would probably run Scarf. Because Scarf Pursuit can trap the Gengar, which is really big. And also, like, if the Weavile is not packing Ice Shard, which it doesn't necessarily have to run Ice Shard in this game, Scarf Murkrow could maybe run with Brave Bird. It's not like the worst spring, but I'm pretty sure Canucks is going to bring their top 6 here. I could see maybe dropping Crest, but Crest is a pretty solid Flygon check. If you're confident Milo can handle Flygon, maybe. Vaporeon does have haste. I believe Vaporeon has haste in every generation. I'm pretty sure it gets even in Gen 1, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Vaporeon's like, well, like 2 Pokemon I guess in Gen 1, but just Vaporeon and Golbat, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure no ice types even get haze in Gen 1, which is a very stupid fun fact. Yeah, I think I've used that matchup to Mr. Shell here. The speed advantage is so big. Speed advantage is so big. Funnily enough, I could see like something like a Crest Trick Room again into like T-Taurus are doing something, but I know the Hitmonchan kind of shits on that strat a lot. Let's get into the game though. Mr. Shell on the left, the guy cannot talk. Shell on the left and Canucks on the right. So Fortress and Nidoqueen, we Fortress probably going to give a hazard here. Give a spike as T-Tar comes in hard. Mine's going to come out of the stowage, take 32. That's a good chunk. Forces out the T-Tar as Flygon's going to click Earthquake. Now, Flygon is just going to be forced out by the Crest. Hand Power Fire, I presume, by Crest, expecting a Fortress to come in. That would be to make no sense. But Vaporeon's going to come in. Crest is going to start Calm Minding. Vaporeon's going to get out a Toxic, though, but this Crest could very well be running Rest for all we know. He's just going to Psychic, so that does nothing. That's especially defensive Vaporeon. That's only 20. Holy shit. In comes Magzone. Magzone's fighting this boom here. Crest is going to be forced out by that. Or it's just going to Flash Can, okay? Hand Power Fire. I guess he was predicting something to switch out, cover the boom. That makes sense. But I would be sure I actually moves this. Or nope, just going to go out to Vape as the Crest does click Rest here. So it does reveal that Toxic will not be an effective countermeasure. My Logic's going to come in as Vaporeon just clicks Wish. Presumably, Vaporeon's just going to Baton Pass into the Mag Zone. Hand Power, Electric, or Grass is going to do virtually nothing to the specially defensive Vaporeon. And Mag Zone is back up virtually at full. It's posing a huge threat here. In comes Nidoqueen. Surely it doesn't actually click the electric move. No, it does. It does Thunderbolt. I feel like the Milo has to switch their Milo so vital here. But anyway, in comes Fortress. As Nidoqueen's gonna get up rocks. Big for helping keep Mr. Shell's Weavile in check. Hitmontop's gonna come in as the Fortress is gonna spin those. Hitmontop cannot spin the spike though. It's just gonna click Stone Edge, getting a tiny bit of chip on this Fortress. But Fortress is gonna get rocks up. 2 hazards up on Canucks' side now. Hitmontop is going to get off the spin now as the Hitmonchan comes in. In comes the Crest. Hitmonchan's going to quick bulk up, though. Interesting. But Hitmonchan can't do shit to Crest. It doesn't really get good Dark or Ghost moves this gen. Just got Ice Punch. Yes, can only do 22 at +1. Hitmonchan is unfortunately very weak. I mean, I ran bulk of Hitmonchan in my most recent game, and even then, like, he doesn't do that much. It was like Adamant Thunder Punch only did like 65 to a bulky star rate when I ran it. It was wild. Anyway, in comes Magnezone on the Cresselia. Cresselia is just a Psychic, do virtually nothing. Magnezone is once again going to fret in this boom, but no, it's just going to Flash Cannon. However, Hidden Power is going to do 35, but Cress is getting really well. It's going to be forced to rest here. In comes Flygon predicting the rest, yeah. See what we got here. And then Fire's just going to lock into Outrage, and that's going to do nothing. However, it does well, it's not going to do nothing. It free kills the Crest, so Crest is going to be forced out eventually. Yeah, in comes Scizor on this life form Outrage, but that's not going to do too much. It's going to do a third. We do get a 2-turn Outrage, though, but yeah, Scizor can't just pick this off with Bullet Punch, except it doesn't knock out, and Fire's going to click Roost. Oh, wow. That was a huge risk thing when you're confused. I feel like you just switch there every time, but I know, I guess it worked out because he didn't hit himself. Anyway, switching out. Fortress calling the Nidoqueen, switching, fair enough, to try and get some more hazards up. The rocks go back up from Fortress. Fire Punch from T-Tar is not going to knock out. Fortress go pocket Citrus Berry as Fortress goes Earthquake, doing a bit of chip to his T-Tar. Anyway, in comes him on top. This is going to be able to spin right. He has it again, but Flygon's going to come in, threatening huge damage here. Out comes the last Pokemon, Gengar, to block a spin as Milo comes out on Canucks' side. While switching on both sides this game. Gengar's going to go out to Vaporeon as the Nidoqueen comes in. But the thing is, Canucks' team is taking all this Rocks chip. It's really starting to add up. Protect on the Nidoqueen just gives Vaporeon a free wish. Out comes the Milotic. What's Vaporeon going to do here? Into Flygon. Get that health back on Flygon. Very good. Flygon is going to be forced out with the threat of Ice Beam, but healing up the Flygon is very nice. Milo is going to quick recover there as Vaporeon comes back in. Have a feeling we might be in for a long one, folks. Get some popcorn or get comfortable in your seat. These are two quite fat teams staring each other down. Scizor's going to come in as a Vaporeon just clicks Toxic, revealing it, but the goods... Oh, I already revealed it. Never mind, I'm stupid, but yeah. It revealed her on Crest, though. Surf is going to do 42 to Scizor, but that is not going to be 2 KO. Scizor can just spam Roost here. But Vaporeon can keep clicking Surf to keep it low. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Yeah, might as well try and keep the Scizor at low health. Milo's going to come in, though, again. Hidden Power's bouncing off the special defensive Vaporeon. Very good in this matchup. Toxic Miss on Milo. Not that big a deal. It can just click it again. Or it can Wish here. Obviously, getting Toxic off on Milo would have been nice. But I'm just saying, everyone. In comes Magnezone. It's going to get some health back with the Surf and be out of range of Mush and be out of range of another Surf. Yep. In comes the Fortress on this. Him on top is going to switch in, obviously playing to spin. But to be fair, Mr. Shell can just go Gengar. Yeah, go Gengar to spot the spin. Him on top is going to miss the Stone Edge. That would have done some a good chunk to Gengar. T-Tar is going to be switched on Gengar. What's Gengar going to click here, though? Will-O-Wisp catching the T-Tar. Is it One Berry? It is not. That is a huge will. This T-Tar is now virtually neutered. Crunch with the Colbur. Yeah, Colbur, Willow, Gengar. Very common set for T-Tar. Sub. And even though it's taking the Sand Chip, it can just... I mean, it's taking a Sand Chip, but he is going to run T-Tar. However, we do know that the T-Tar is Scarf due to the Crunch. Gengar is low. It's not going to be able to sub again, but it can come back in on hazards potentially. Scizor's going to come in. Gengar's going to switch. Scizor's not going to pursue. It's just going to Roost here. Fair enough. That Roost is really risky, though. I guess, you know that it's pretty much forced out, so you aren't worrying about Game Willet, I guess. But that was a bit of a risky play by Canucks, but it worked out. Crit Hidden Power Fire from Magnezone. Not only that, the Hidden Power Fire reveals that the Magnezone coming in reveals that this Scizor is Shed Shell. Makes a lot of sense in this match. Obviously, Magnezone is very scary. Although, because if you want to bulk your Scizor, you have to run Shed Shell if you want more superpower. That crit Hidden Power is huge, though. It means Hitmontop's going to go down after the Sand Chip, and these hazards are staying up for the rest of the game. That's really rough for Canucks here. That those hires staying up is going to be a big problem. They're cooking Earthquake again, as Fortress is good. Capitalize on the Hitmontop getting crit, cooking another spike, and probably cook one more. No, it's just got Earthquake. Nidoqueen doesn't care about the third spike. Fair enough. Nidoqueen's going to protect here. As Fortress is going to keep cooking Earthquake, just trying to chip it as much as possible. Switching out to Flygon on the Earthquake, getting a ton of offensive momentum, and preserving the Fortress to maybe get up the third spike later even. Flygon is going to quick a mine as Nidoqueen is just going to protect. Flygon's going to walk into Outrage, however, do note that because Protect was quick, it's not stuck into Outrage anymore. Flygon is just going to quick Outrage again, though, doing 35 to Scissor. Scissors in range of another one now. Bullet Punch is going to do a good chunk, and Flygon's going to start getting low, but, like, this team is not going to enjoy taking repeated banned outrages. Life Orb outrages. It is going to get confused here. It's probably forced out. No, it stays there. It just quicks a bite again. But Crest Bird's last sleep turn. Will Flygon hit itself in Confusion again? It will. Remember, Confusion is a 50% chance in this gen, so it's not that unlikely. It's just a 25% chance to hit itself twice. Psychic will knock out the Flygon, so it is a first kill on Canucks' side. But Gengar's looking really strong here. Shadow Ball doing 26 to Nidoqueen. That's a pretty fat special defensive Nidoqueen, though. Makes sense to take on Mana Stone and Gengar. Gengar's going to Shadow Ball again, but this Nidoqueen's going to get really, really low. It does get the Double Protect, however, to stay healthy. Double Protect is a 50% in this gen, not 33% like later gens. It was nerfed in later gens for VGC purposes, of course. Hitmonchan's going to come in and knock out the Nidoqueen of Ice Punch, but he's going to get poisoned for its trouble, so that poison point could add up real fast on his Hitmonchan, since we know it's not running leftovers. In comes the Milotic, however. Hitmonchan's going to switch into Vaporeon. But Vaporeon can't quick Toxic here. No, Milo is forced out pretty much. Yeah, into Crest, obviously. Get up a Wish, though, just to be able to heal something up. Crest is going to try and start Calm Mining, but Vaporeon is going to obviously Toxic here. And it's going to miss again. 85% accurate Toxic, really biting Mr. Shell in the butt here. Magzone comes in on Crest. Crest takes a second Calm Mind. Is Magzone packing the Boom? Surely, if it is a Scarf Set. Yeah, it's going to finally boom and take out the Crest, and now it's just Milo versus the world. Vaporeon's going to come in. As long as it gets a Toxic on Milotic, the game is over. It does. With Toxic and Sand Chip, even with the lefties, eventually this Vaporeon wins. Milotic cannot outstall it. Oh no, but never mind. The Milotic's Ring Refresh in the last slot. Holy crud. Then this is going to be a long one, folks. We have this Milotic that can just refresh off the Toxics. Toxic is less PP than Refresh 2. Crit HP Electric, presumably. Actually, is it HP Electric or HP Grass? I'm very curious. It's probably Electric. It's probably Electric, yeah. It doesn't really matter. I'm just, like, curious. If your opponent's going to Surf, but Refresh Milotic might actually be able to clutch this out. Following enough, because Refresh is more PP than Toxic anyway, so this might come down to a PP stall. We're going to move this on to Fast here. It does quick Surf, obviously, Vaporeon's Water Absorb. In comes the Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan gets healthy again. Can't Hitmonchan do enough damage to this Milotic, though. Hitmonchan's gonna Drain Punch. Very weak move this gen. Only 60 base power. Even only 72 after the Iron Fist. And yeah, that's not gonna do much. But Hitmonchan's packing Rest as well. Oh my god, it's Resto Chesto. Gonna take some chip from Surf though, but I don't think it matters. Hitmonchan shouldn't be able to 1v on this Milotic. Maybe you can start bulking up, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Yeah, Surf's gonna play it very well. Hitmonchan is probably going to bulk up as Milotic's forced to recover here. No, it's just going to Drain Punch again. What's Milotic going to do? Yeah, Milotic's going to recover. Hitmonchan's getting healthy, but, like, Hitmonchan cannot win this 1v1. Drain Punch, again, get some more health back, but Surf is just going to do too much to heal off. Albeit, this Hitmonchan is doing fine, but he's going to finally bulk up as the Milotic is going to be forced to recover here. Hitmonchan can't just quick Drain Punch here. It's going to do 41. Is that going to put you out of range of Surf? Maybe. But it's going to go down to the Sand Chip. So now it's just going to be a long game. We have Vaporeon versus Milotic. Can Mr. Shell? We're going to go in hyper fast here because this is going to be a long game. We get the Toxic, but refresh some more PP. I'm pretty sure Milotic can do this as long as he can just get enough refreshes off. Like, yes, I'm Vaporeon has to preserve his Toxic. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to... I don't think Vaporeon can do this. I just think Refresh Milo's going to be too much here. We'll keep going. Yeah, we're just going to keep skipping some turns here. It's going to be a long end game. Oh, a crit hitting power is going to take out the Vaporeon. But yeah, that's the end of the game. Yeah, Refresh Milotic is going to clean up this end game. Yeah. Explosion would definitely have knocked out Milo, yes. But is packing Dual Hazard Spin Earthquake? Surely Explosion will have knocked out Milo. Based on damage, it's looking more specially defensive from earlier. Surely it's Surely Milotic would go down to Explosion. I am confident of that. Albeit, I don't know how he would have ever gotten out the Explosion when, like, Milo just outspeeds the Fortress. You can always just quick surf. Like, there's no way forward can ever get off that explosion from that Will of Health. But wow, yeah, Milotic showing its strength. I mean, this is what things Milotic can do. Refresh is very powerful if you're relying on Toxic to beat it. Yeah, I mean, that's, very well done by Canucks here. Just stalling out the game of Milo being down very heavily for a while of the game, but showing that just by removing all the threats to Milo, such as Magnezone, such as Flygon, such as Gengar, it is able to stall out bulkier teams. Refresh just showing why it's such a strong move in this generation when Toxic is so vital for making progress against a lot of bulkier Pokemon like Milotic. We saw a lot of anti-toxic moves. We saw Rest Crest, we saw Refresh Milo, we saw Rest Hitmonchan. I like the prep on both sides a lot, honestly. These are pretty solid vapes that I've been getting here. The one problem is that obviously Refresh Milo, but other than that, it's probably pretty good. And Vaporeon did a lot of work wishing up Flygon and Magnezone repeatedly in Hitmonchan throughout the course of the game. However, Milo is going to take in the end, giving a win for Canucks. I believe this might put him in brackets. I'm not sure. So that's a long one for our second game. Let's move on to game 3. Here we have Food versus Ace, and this one's looking like it's going to go a lot faster because Food's team is very offensive here. Ace's team is like Kingdra and Lucario, but it does have a good defensive backbone of the rest of the pieces. But this game could definitely go a lot faster. First thing you notice, obviously Zapdos. I mean, holy Zapdos matchup, Batman. Look at this team. Look at Thunderbolt HP Ice. Tell me what it does. You're kind of forced into Dusclops or Chansey to come as a check, but Chansey is very abusable by Lucario. Chansey likely runs Thunder Wave, but if it's not ready to dual status, Thunder Wave onto Zapdos isn't the worst thing ever for Food, as long as it doesn't get toxic. I don't think Trapinch comes because, as I said before on another matchup, unfortunately, Lucario is one of the few really strong offensive stab sweepers that Trapinch can't live a hit from just because it does so much damage with +2 close combat. Because it boosts to +2 immediately, unlike stuff like Raikou and Tyranitar, which only boosts to +1. So it just OHKO. Like, even if you're only a Fizz-Def Trapinch, you are going down to close combat. We do see the Lucario mirror, though. Yeah, Trapinch being slower Dusclops is honestly very funny. We do see 2 Lucarios. I think, I would say Food's Lucario is a bit of a rare matchup here, just because, even if the Gliscor, Aces, no, Foods, yeah, because the Gliscor doesn't really like taking an Ice Punch. Of course, Gliscor can run Wild Speed, Outspeed, and live E-Speed, but Gliscor is able to be pivoted into by the 3 ground immunities. Whereas Ace's Lucario is kind of stonewalled by Zapdos, but Zapdos is very pressured this game. A lot is going to be hitting it for damage throughout the entire game. And if Bronzong gets well, this Kingdra can easily just win endgame on its own. Excuse me. Ace's Kingdra is looking very, very strong here. But I know, I think Food's offense is looking very, very good. It's going to be tough for Ace to wall it all. The combination of Mamoswine and Zapdos especially is looking really good here. I know, like, the Kingdra and Lucario on Ace's side look pretty good, but I think I'm going to lean Food here for the matchup. But definitely interesting. However, something very important to note is that Fortress cannot really spin into Mismag very well. Well, it can if it runs like Payback, but if Hazards go up, this could be annoying. But Dusclops kind of stonewall Starmie if it's running a especially defensive set. So if these spikes go up, they could be a problem for Ace. Albeit with Freemon's immune to them, it's more so the rocks that are a problem, but rocks will add up over time, especially on Zapdos. Let's get into the game. We got Food on the left, Ace on the right. I believe Food is 1-0 right now. I believe Ace is 0-1, so it's definitely a big game for Food and for Ace. Taunt on turn 1 as the Scarm comes in. Nasty plot Mismagius, but he can just taunt the Chansey. Yeah, what's Chansey gonna do back? Shadow Ball's gonna do nothing. Yeah, 27. Switching out, though, Rosie can't do enough damage. And Lucario's gonna come in on Shadow Ball, take a measly 12%. Gliscor's gonna come in as Lucario clicks Crunch, predicting a Dusclops. Gliscor's just gonna U-turn, getting some chip on the Starmie. In comes the Dusclops for real this time. Starmie's gonna get off a Toxic on it, though. As Dusclops is going to Nightshade, but if this Starmie's running Recover, this Dusclops clearly cannot break it. Yeah, if that's only doing 31% per turn, yeah, Starmie can just keep recovering on this. In comes the Chansey as Starmie just goes back up to full. Makes sense. Mamoswine's going to come in on Chansey, take the Seismic Toss, but it's exerting a lot of pressure here. Starmie's going to be forced in. Mamoswine can get up rocks for free, of course. In comes Starmie on the Skarmory, getting the rocks up. Is it going to try and spare, or is it just going to slam this Dusclops with the attack? It's just going to surf into the Dusclops. And we know that this Starmie will eventually outlast the Dusclops, meaning that Rapid Spin is going to eventually go off. Surf's going to do a ton. Oh, good chunk. Pain Spit's gonna heal a lot of health on the Dusclops, healing almost 50%. But Starmie can just recover, and this Toxic is eventually going to get Ace is your friend, but I do love watching Stall get broken about. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, a lot of people hate playing against Stall. I enjoy it. I genuinely find it really fun and an interesting puzzle trying to break down Stall by like in the builder and in the battle. I find it really fascinating. Yeah, Chansey and Dusclops no Violate. Those would be crazy with Violate in this gen. Albeit you do have stuff like Mail Swine which can knock them, but yeah. But yeah, Thunderbolt will paralyze the Chansey. It is natural cure though, so that's gonna just switch out. In comes the Gliscor on the Mail Swine. Skarm's gonna come in on the knockoff. As I mentioned, knockoff's pretty good into this team. Removing Skarm's leftovers. Yeah, but check, as I was saying, like, I love breaking Stall. I find it so much fun trying to build and find a way. Your ways when it comes to Stall matchups, Rainbow's moves. Oh yeah, I mean that works. Indeed, like just in general, in every generation, I really enjoy breaking down Stall. I just find it a fun puzzle. That's my best way to describe it. And oh my god, the Mismage is coming in on the Pain Split. That's a huge play, keeping the Dusclops low. Actually gonna do damage to itself with Pain Split. Dusclops going down means Starmie can easily spin now. Chansey's gonna Toxic the Starmie, but it can get off the spin here, which is really big. Get off the spin, remove the hazards. Chansey is good Shadow Ball. It's doing good chunk. That Chansey might have special attack investment, honestly, based on his damage rolls. It's going to recover as Chansey gets soft boiled. Obviously, the Starmie's going to be forced out here, or just recover again, I guess. Seismic Toss doing 31. Okay. Starmie's getting very low. It can't keep recovering too long. It's going to be forced out and use his natural cure to heal up the poison. And Fortress can come in on the Lucario. Mismage is coming in as Ace doubles out to Gliscor. Shadow Ball is going to do a good chunk to his Gliscor, but it can't just click Roost here. Yeah. Maelstrom comes in as Gliscor U-turns. And it's just to let Skarm back in to save up hazards again. Starmie is the obvious switch in. Skarm is going to get up rocks, but honestly, I don't think Break kills, so that's fine. Starmie's going to quick recover as the Fortress comes in. Presumably Fortress is going to try and spin here, or just going to pay back doing a bit of damage to this Bronzong. Yeah, Break Stall is awesome. Though when you're laddering, Stall is rougher because you have to prep. When you're laddering, the thing with Stall and ladder is you have to not only do you have to have your build team handle all the offensive and balance teams in there, you also need to be able to break Stall with that team, and not every team can break Stall. Whereas in draft, I find it a really fun puzzle using the tools at your disposal to wear down and break down a Stall team, either super offensively or in a long game, and preserving your own pieces. I find it super fun. We see a Shadow Ball come off here. This man's not going to get very low. Just going to click the rocks, get those back up. I ran my friend who, if you all know, he's a very good Stall player. I played it a couple times on Wi-Fi, and the most recent time we played was in a low-tier Mayhem, a Wi-Fi league. And using something like, it was like Mental Herb, Calm Mind, Hurricane, freaking Braviary with Mental Herb. It did so much work because Azo was so way to revenge it. It tried to Encore me. I could just slam with Hurricane. Anyway, back into the game, we see Zapdos quickly attack as Chansey's going to come in. In comes Lucario. Chansey's just soft boiled. Is it good Ice Punch this time? No, it's just good close combat. Fair enough. Gliscor's going to come in here. Starmie's going to be the switch as Gliscor is going to quick Roost again. We do definitely have a long game on our hands here. Starmie's going to Toxic the Chansey, obviously limiting how many turns it can stay in this time. And clicking Surf, getting a bit of chip. Seismic Toss doing 31. Starmie's down to just 8 recovers, though. That's down to just 7. This Starmie will eventually run out at this rate. Chansey is going to switch out. In comes the Skarmory. As Starmie quick Surf does 29. That's not going to do a kill unless it gets a higher roll. It does not. Skarmory can just roost this off. So he's going to quick another Surf. As Skarmie's just going to roost here. Starmie is going to switch out to Mismagius this time as the Chansey comes in. Mismagius is going to switch back out to Starmie as Shadow Ball's going to do some chip. 34 is not bad damage. Starmie's going to Toxic again as Chansey's going to Toxic. So both of these cannot stay in too long as their natural cure is going to eventually heal them up. Both clicking their recovery moves this turn. And again, we just need to keep an eye on this recovery BP. Just 6 left. Maelstrom's going to come in as a chance to switch out to Skarmory. And this Maelstrom can't really do much here. It's going to be forced out into Zapdos this time. But Skarm's go Whirlwind, bring in the Bronzong. Chansey's gonna come in as Bronzong quick hitting power, presumably HP Ice, but also it's Gliscor, and that's gonna do virtually nothing. Guess it could be HP Fire. Actually, it's probably HP Fire for Skarm and Fortress. Shadow Ball Spin F drop is gonna force out the Starmie immediately. Yes, Chansey to go quickly again, but that only does 10 to Bronzong. Chansey's gonna Seismic Toss. Bronzong's just quick Psychic, do a tiny bit of chip here. Chansey uses Seismic Toss again. Is the it's Calm Mind Bronzong. I'm very sure we saw Calm Mind Bronzong in Food's last game as well. I believe he was the person who ran Calm Mind Bronzong earlier. And it pretty much just Food the game the last time I saw it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Food right earlier. Toxic. It was real HP Fire breaking Akon for a gotcha. I did not see error, my bad. Thank you, Check, for checking me on that. Zapdos is gonna come in as the Skarmoose. Skarm's gonna be forced out. Double into Lucario on the Chansey. Very good play, but can Food take advantage of it? Double back into Zapdos, presumably expecting the Gliscor to come in, racking up all this rock chip of this offensive positioning. In comes the Chansey on the Thunderbolt. Does 23, not a ton, but Zapdos is gonna quick hit again. Chansey's gonna be forced to Soft Boil. It has down to 10 PP on that move. Zapdos is now toxic though. That could be bad in the long term. Thunderbolt again. And we're just continuing to see Chansey using Soft Boiled. Zapdos just spamming Thunderbolt, forcing Chansey to repeatedly heal, just wasting that PP, draining that Soft Boiled PP. Yep. Zapdos is going to roost itself as Chansey gets Soft Boiled. To know with Latias and Jirachi. Yeah, I guess since this is a long game, I can talk about them. Jirachi and DVP is just... DVP draft Jirachi would just be insane. There's so few things that can... Oh, it's a crit shot while there. Jirachi and DVP is just impossible to break. Like, there's so little monsters that can break it offensively. On top of the potential of Iron Head and Thunder Wave spam, just adding a lot of variance. But realistically, it's like... Less than the Iron Head, it's more so the Calm Mind sets on Jirachi that is so terrifying. But it can do whatever. It's a good support mod. It's a good offensive mod on both sides. Good defense mod on both sides. 100 speed is very solid this gen. It, of course, has that cheese potential on top of everything else. In terms of Latias, I mean, Latias 1, it does so much damage. Like, 110 special attack Draco Meteors are... I think that's, like, the hardest hitting Dracos in the tier, I'm pretty sure. Unless I'm forgetting something, and those are not fun to switch into. Obviously, Calm Mind doesn't last. They're just... Both those Pokemon have so many sets, it's impossible to counter them all. As the T1 said, they're both very versatile. Of the two, I would argue Jirachi is slightly more allowable, because if you had allowed Latias without Jirachi, it's like fucked. But even then, the only two checks to Latias in the game are like T-Tar and Jirachi, and the teams that don't get them are going to be in a really rough spot versus the Latias. And then Jirachi's just so good. Like, I used Latias in a DB allowed Latias, Jirachi, and what was it? I don't know, just Latias, Jirachi. And my only two losses were to Sandvale Chiefs, because that was legal for some reason, and to the Jirachi team. Because Jirachi is just one of the only checks to Latias in the game. So I think Latias, especially with warp drafting so much around it. Oh, wow, this chance is getting super low. Mismag's going to go down, though. But yeah, Latias will just warp drafting so heavily around it, needing to find like 2 checks per team. That would be really rough. And Jirachi doesn't necessarily warp the drafting as much, but it's just so hard to prep for. It can do anything you want. His typing's amazing in this gen too about the Dark and Ghost Wings. Zapdos is going to take down Fortress, so Food is starting to make progress. Ace reveals his last Pokemon deal, Life Orb Kingdra. If they were ever be allowed, honestly, probably both 20, if not higher. Like, I would put like, honestly, I wouldn't put a gap and make like Latias like 23 and Rachi like 22. Like, they're just, the amount they're better than Metagross is very significant. Gliscor can Rain Dance, but Bronzong is going to Calm Mind, so it's probably not going to be ranging Kingdra anymore. Gliscor's going to get a Roost, but Psychic's going to do a ton of damage here. Food is really making progress in this late game. Yes, Psychic into the Skarmory. With the Rain, HP Fire is not going to do that much, but Skarmory can't do shit to this anyway. Yes, Psychic gets some chip, but Skarmory's going to be forced to Whirlwind here. But Skarmory's getting low, brings in the Starmie. I mean, with the Rain, it doesn't matter, it would go down anyway. Yeah, I think Food finally just managing to make his push here. And it's Damp Rock Gliscor. Not sure why he clicked Rain again there. Did he not realize it was still up? I'm not sure, but in comes Kingdra. It's not ready to Dragon Move. Surf is going to do a good chunk to Starmie, but Starmie can Toxic this. This Kingdra's getting worn down so fast. Between the Life Orb and the Rain. Starmie's going to go down, but it's not really needed anymore. It's not like there's any more hazards coming up. And outside the random, Lucario can come in, quick close combat, knock out the Kingdra, which was one of Ace's last ways of making good progress here. Skarmory's going to come in, but surely it's in range at 28. Yeah, and Lucario's just going to clean up. So, wow, a very long game, but a lot of action for most of it. I really liked it. Machamp with Dynamic Punch is like 14, 15. Yeah, Food, I mean, what a game. Ace played that stall team very well, but Food was just able to position well and get in like where he needed to. I mean, my God. I love the taunt nasty plot. Miss Mag, the second Vacuum Wave. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Vacuum Wave makes a lot of sense. You want the priority into this team. Allows you to hit the opposing Lucario really hard, too. Like, Ace benched their Lucario, but the Vacuum Wave is really big. For that, because obviously if they're running like E-Spear or Bullet Punch, you take that hit easily and Vacuum Wave will do a ton back. Especially on this set here, yeah. Mence, I don't want to think about Mence. Mence would be so fucking broken. I don't even want to imagine a DPP draft of Mence Weagle. That would be like, I'm not even going to think about that. That scares me. But yeah, on the racket at the end of the game, actually at the end of the game here, I mean, Food just brought, both teams were very well prepped here. I really like both these. I think this is a very good stall build from Ace. I like the Shalbon Chansey a lot. Rain Sky Score is interesting. I don't know if I like the Damp Rock, though, because that kind of hurt him in the long run. I think almost Sky Score would prefer just lefties. And then Life Orb Kingdra being okay here. Life Orb Kingdra is pretty solid in general. I don't know if I love Life Orb Kingdra. I don't think I feel like looking at this team, you didn't need the Life Orb for the damage output. I feel like you did enough damage to everything outside maybe Bronzong without it. I kind of wish Kingdra just run another item, maybe like just lefties or something, or Mystic Water or whatever. I feel like the Life Orb hurt Ace in the long run here a lot. I think that was kind of anti-synergy to the rest of his team. We knew Lucario was going to be really good going in. Toxic, Starmie, and really making the most out of his recovery turns down to just one. Knockoff Mammo coming in clutch. The taunt, Miss Magui being very smart, preventing early game hazards, and being able to help with Chansey too. Calm Mind Bronzong for the second game in a row for Food versus games. No, DOS will never be legal. It outspeeds the entire game, and it has a 140 base power psychic stab when Psychic is very strong. DOS will never be fucking legal. Holy shit. Like, DOS would be more broken than Salamence, and Salamence would already be broken. No. And I'm pretty sure it does, even, and also, you could say it doesn't get Nasty Plot. Dio always got Calm Mind. Who cares if it doesn't have Nasty Plot? You just run Calm Mind to a fuck ton of bulk. You don't need speed for shit because you got speed everything. Yeah, I could have seen Manual Rain Resto Chesto's Kingdra. That could be a cool set. Yeah, but, very good win by Food here. I mean, 111 turns, one of the longer games we've seen so far in this tournament, but he did manage to overtime position and break down a team, but both sides played this super well. This is one of the... I really love this game. Unfortunately, Duvius knocks Ace out of the tournament, which is unfortunate because I did like seeing his take on stall. It was really interesting with the Kingdra. But Food, I believe this does mean he moves on to brackets. Wow, we've had two really long games so far. We are on the fourth game of this stream, and I've already been streaming for 45 minutes. Yeah, game one for very long, but yeah, that's fine. It's DVP. I'm cool with it. On to game 4, we have Iger versus Salvatore Acesso. So, first thing is that this Raikou, I mean, there's a Nidoqueen, but Nidoqueen is very pressured by a combination of Flygon and Uxie and Milotic. And so I can recover him. And Nidoqueen kind of just lets in Mywell every time and Uxie. And Mywell looks very strong here, especially. Not much really wants to come in on it. Surf is very clickable. Dragon Pulse hits the Kingdra for decent damage. I think just like a physically defensive Milotic kind of sits on his team. That's going to CR, but you don't even need this stuff. You need a especially defensive Milotic if you want to take on Heatran and Kingdra. To be fair, Check, I think Kingdra's good on the team. I think Kingdra is very good on Ace's team. I really like it because Ace's team can just use those 5 bonds, stall out the game, and then clean in that game. I just think Life Orb was a mistake, but I think the rest of the Kingdra's fine on there. Oh, this is your pool, Check. Very nice. So yeah, I think like especially defensive Milotic looks very strong. It just kind of sits on everything outside T-Tar, and T-Tar can't really do much to Hitmontop. Hitmontop also looks actually really good here. Fighting's very spammable if you Foresight the Spiritomb. Like, I can see like a Lumberry Foresight Hitmontop doing a ton. If it can't Foresight the Spiritomb on switch in, you can just Foresight it as you get burned. Heal it off with Lemon, quick close combat. Nothing really wants to come in. No, Koopa, you're not adding Deoxys attack. No, fuck that. Oh, Check, you got a forfeit win over one of these coaches? Gotcha. HP second, yeah. But, Low kick return Foresight Wapiti. Very cool. I didn't know Wapiti got Foresight, I'll be honest, just because I never see it. It also means you rarely see Foresight in this generation outside on spinners. So yeah, this Raikou looks very strong, Milo looks very strong. Flygon also looks insane in this game. Oh yeah, Igers is a crazy matchup, oh my god. Hitmontop is pretty difficult for Salvatore to break too. Yeah, I mean, this game is pretty heavily in Iger's favor. The only one of Iger's like top 5 that isn't fantastic here is Scizor and maybe Uxie. On Salvatore's side, Heatran is not bad, but Milo does kind of sit on it pretty hard. No, there are no Ubers I would consider Iron Coop. They are all absurd in this generation. There are none I would even consider touching. Yeah, so on Salvatore's side, we do see Cloyster, and Hitmontop, since it doesn't need to run Foresight, Cloyster can maybe get spikes up and try and step this team. But honestly, I can see Toxic coming over Cloyster just as a way to kind of shut down Milo if it's only running Toxic in Surf. In that way, Toxic can come in and maybe start making some progress of its own. But overall, I think Iger has a really strong matchup here. So let's get into the game. And not to mention, I didn't even notice this. Iger has such a speed advantage. I mean, Flygon can run boosting. Raikou can run boosting and a ton of bulk. Uxie can run a ton of bulk and still outspeed the Kingdra. I mean, wow. I know, I think we are not allowing Kyogre. I think people are underestimating the relevance of speed in this tournament. We keep seeing these balanced teams with no speed, and I think no speed works if you're running Stall. But if you're running just a balance like this with Invincible going Heatran, Tyranitar, Kingdra, and Nidoqueen, this is really rough. Like, the lack of speed is really going to hurt him. Iger's team has an insanely good matchup and the speed advantage on top of it. I don't think Salvatore has much he can do. We do see a Kingdra from Salvatore and the Flygon's going to lead. Both scouting for Scarflanger, I assume. Milo's going to quick Toxic into the Spiritomb. Milo could have HP Psychic. I could see it. I don't know if it can fit it, though. Milo's going to get burned here. Spiritom's going to dodge Toxic and then Toxic. I don't know if Milo can fit the HP Psychic. I can see running it, but I feel like Milo wants, Surf, Dragon Pulse, Toxic, Recover. I don't think he can fit the HP Psychic. I think being able to hit the Kingdra is more important. Surf doing some good to the Spiritomb. Spiritomb just gets Shallow Ball again, but Milo can easily just recover here. Spiritomb taking a lot of chip. It's going to be forced out soon. Yeah, Milo out clicking Recover. Spiritomb is just going to rest, though. Okay. So this is going to eventually 1v1 the Milo. And with Recover, it's losing a lot. It's going to lose a lot of Surf PP. Raikou comes in. Spiritomb is going to cut Sleep Talk. Miss the Will-O-Wisp. That could be big if the Raikou's a substitute set. And Raikou's just going to quick Calm Mind as the Tyranitar comes in. Is it running Aura Spear? Is shiny? Yes, it is, but T-Tar is going to live. T-Tar's got Earthquake. However, the Raikou's running Shuckle Berry and will easily take that. It's a pretty bulky Raikou, too. Obviously, that's a very fat T-Tar's Aura Spear. Hidden Power, hitting T-Tar super effectively. Wait, it's ground. It's definitely ground for like Heatran, Tyranitar, Nidoqueen here. In comes the Nidoqueen as we see the HP ground come out to 47. Nidoqueen can just Earthquake and knock out the Raikou, but Raikou made a lot of progress there. In comes the Flygon. Flygon's got Earthquake, and Nidoqueen is going to go down. We do see the Cloyster come in, forcing out the Flygon. It's going to cook a Spike as Uxie comes in. Spiritomb is going to come in on Uxie. Uxie's probably get rocks up. No, it's just get Toxic here. But it's going to get a Brox here. I mean, who cares if Spiritomb Sleep Talk Shallow Balls? It doesn't do that much. It's going to pull the rest, though. Spiritomb is going to wake up on this turn, however, but Uxie going to switch out. It's going to U-turn. We know the Spiritomb is in pursuit, so no risk there. Into the Milotic. And Milotic is going to be taking a lot with the Sand and the Spike and the Burn, but Lefty's helping nullify the Sand, and Milo can probably still win this 1v1 unless Spiritomb starts getting some drops. Milo's going to recover. Spiritomb is going to quick killing Shallow Ball. If he can get a couple spin F drops, it can maybe break through this, but Milo's in a very strong position. Milo's going to Toxic Spiritomb, forcing it to eventually quick rest. And when it quicks rest, Iger can't take advantage of it. See the Shallow Ball come out. Milo's just going to quick recover. Yeah, Spiritomb can never break this. It's going to quick rest, but now Iger can gain a huge offensive threat to start wailing on Salvatore's team. Presumably Milo's going to switch out here, yeah. Just to stay in Surf, trying to 1v1 the Spiritomb. Interesting. Spiritomb's going to roll rest again. It is a very unlucky Spiritomb in terms of Sleep Talk rolls. It's going to Surf again, gain the Spiritomb low, but it's not in range of a free KO. However, oh my god, another rest. Wow, these unfortunate Spiritomb. Just so honest, Milo just sit here. But Milo is going to be forced to recover soon just from the burn damage. In comes Flygon as Spiritomb wakes up. And predicting correctly as Spiritomb's not going to quick Willow there. Flygon's going to come in and be able to just fire a huge attack here. Earthquake is, oh my god, a critical hit Earthquake on the Spiritomb. I will say, I mean, if it O-code, then that only mattered if the Spiritomb rolled Willow on the rest. Even then, that's like Sleep Talk into Willow's a 33% chance. Willow's 75% actually. That's only a 25% chance to hit, to get off a Willow on this. So it's not like it's that particularly likely it'll get off a Willow. But obviously the Earthquake knockout Spiritomb so it can't preserve it is unfortunate. And that makes me think the Flygon's probably banded too. So that brings Cloyster, and Cloyster's just going to Rain Dance here. It's going to boom. Taking out the Uxie. Kingdra's going to come in. But Hitmontop's going to come in for Iger. Kingdra's going to miss the Hydro Pump. Oh no, as Iger's going to close combat doing 49. Well, now Void Defense is definitely going to go down here. I wasn't sure if the Hydro Pump would kill. Oh no, that's another Hydro. Wow. And yeah, that's super unfortunate. Double Hydro Miss and the Earthquake. I mean, I don't know what Salvatore is supposed to do here. Like, double Hydro Miss. The Toxstroke is the last Pokemon, but it's a little too late. Earthquake from this. Yeah, I mean, Iger's like, yeah, it's bullshit. Low kick. But Salvatore's like, yeah, it's Pokemon. I don't blame it. Like, it is Pokemon. Unfortunately, I do think this knocks Salvatore out of the tournament. So, bit of a rough way to go out. But so, a Sucker Punch crit does knock it out. But I think it's a little too late. Scizor comes in. Yeah, Scizor can just Bullet Punch here. Yeah, Bullet Punch wins. Yeah, I appreciate I appreciate Salvatore's attitude here. It's just a game. It's Pokemon. Thank you, Coop. Not gonna lie, the chicken I did not make myself. I just bought it last night and I had some leftovers. But yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. Iger definitely got pretty lucky with the Earthquake crit and the Hydro Misses. I still think Milotic could have maybe handled the Kingdra, but the combination of Kingdra and Toxstroke definitely could have done something. But yeah, it's an unfortunate way for Salvatore to go out, but sometimes that's how it goes. At least he wasn't too mad about it. He was just kind of accepting of that's Pokemon. When you run Hydro Pump, it's just kind of how it is. You know what's coming. You have to take that risk, and he took the risk, and unfortunately did not pay off. I believe this moves Iger into brackets. I believe that was the second game. I feel like I remember this. So, yeah, that's going to move him into brackets here. Yep. Yeah, Specs was pretty good, but I mean, I don't think you can really afford to run Specs into, like, Roselia Melodic, right? I don't think Specs makes a lot of sense here. Let's go on to our fifth game, and we are almost an hour in. No, this is going to be a long stream. That's okay. So we have T1, who was in chat earlier. I'm not sure if they're still here now. Yeah, I guess T1 was in chat earlier. I'm not sure if they're still here now, versus Junkie. I don't think Yervin's played a game yet, but if T1's still in chat, then correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, you're here. Cool. I don't know if either of you have played a game yet before this one, but yeah. I mean, yes, you brought Specs into me. I admit, shame, that's true. Check. But also, like, I don't know. That's a fair point, I guess. I am, but my log's a bit better than Shaman to it because, like, Shaman does get warned. I don't know. I think my log's extra step. Anyway, not relevant. Let's get into the. Oh, right, T1. You did play in the Hustle. You were the Hustle Togekiss game, so you are down to 0-1. I believe Junkie is 0-0 at this point. So T1 fighting for their tournament life, and Junkie looking to get off on the right foot. Let's get into the matchup. First thing I noticed is Junkie's Flygon looks very strong here. Only real switch in is Celebi, but a U-turn will do a ton of damage to that. Potentially, if Junkie doesn't respect the Altaria can check the Flygon if it's just throwing Earthquake, like U-turn, maybe a Fire move. But realistically, it doesn't need a 4th move. It can just run a Dragon move for Altaria if he wants. On a Team 1 side, this Celebi is very frightening, though. Outside the U-turn from Flygon, not a ton wants to come in on it and knock it out. I can definitely see like a Nasty Plus Celebi being very strong here, especially if it's Tangaberry. I think Tangaberry and Nasty Plus is very good because you can bait the Jolt Tank with Signal Beam and knock out with Earth Power. Or take a U-turn from Flygon and you have a huge hit on something. Starmie on T1 side is very strong here offensively. Mespris is the only thing I can come in on it. It's also pretty good as a spinner to remove Roxo Mangros or Toxapex from Tentacruel. There's no Ghost type on Junkie's side. Junkie's Tentacruel on the other hand is also a pretty decent spinner as yes, Steelix coming on the rocks, but Steelix does not want to take a surf. It probably gets 2 KO'd unless it's like Spadef Pasho. The Metagross on Junkie side will be very strong. All you have to do is wear down Steelix, and this team is not lacking in ways to wear down Steelix. After that, Metagross can just kind of go ballistic here, just clicking buttons. The Snorlax on T1 side isn't bad here. Not much wants to take it on Junkie C. Not much can really switch into normal moves. I guess you can run like Haste Tentacruel, but that takes a lot from Earthquake. I don't even know if you need HP Fire on Gross here. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on the Scizor already. You could run HP Fire. I ran HP Fire Gross in my matchup versus a Scizor team, but also I was running Scarf, so I didn't want to let the Scizor get a free SD. Scizor is looking decent here. Obviously, there are Steel Resist, but like, it's not in a bad spot at all. But I think I have to give the matchup though to T1 here with the strength of Celebi here, especially Tangaberry. Storm looking really good. T1's Jolteon being very strong here. If the Electric Resist being, Master HP Fire would be good for sure. T1's Jolteon looking a little better than Junkie's just because Steelix is a bit of a better Jolteon check than the Flygon, but this Steelix is going to be super pressured. Snorlax is also a really good Jolteon check, though, and Snorlax is just pretty against his team in general. Not much wants to come in on its attacks. I think I'm going to lean Team Way in the matchup, but this Flygon is very scary, especially if it does respect the Altaria and Pack a Dragon move. Let's hop into the game. T1 on the left and Junkie on the right. Starmie and Metagross lead. Starmie's just going to trick the Metagross Choice Specs, but Metagross is just going to blow it up with a boom. So this means if Junkie can get Hazard, Scizor are going to stay up. Alvis, do you think Scizor runs here and because Meta doesn't want to be super fast? Honestly, I don't think you really need to run Ace Beat on Metagross. Like, you don't care if Scizor's faster because it's not doing that much damage to you outside like Banded Bug Bite. Albeit Banded Bug Bite is pretty good here since it hits Tentacruel real hard. I could see Banded Bug Bite coming. But I don't think Meta needs much speed. I think you would rather just have the bulk in this matchup. Scissors go quick U-turn, and that is presumably Scarf because it's faster than unless it's a slow Mesprit, and just knock it out in one hit. That's an offensive Mesprit too. In comes the Flygon Altaria. Telegraph the Dragon move. Bite does quick Draco Meteor and miss. Oh no, that's really unfortunate for Junkie. The second Draco Meteors get hit. Oh, well, I guess the first one missing didn't matter that much because Altaria would have lived too with Habon. Anyway, Outrage is gonna knock it out. In comes Tentacruel. Outrage is gonna do a lot, but Tentacruel's going to take it. It's physically defensive, and Ice Beam's going to knock out these Altaria here. Flygon going down is really bad for Junkie. That was one of his main offensive threats. So Alex is going to come in on the Tentacruel and start cursing. Jolteon's going to paralyze it, but unless Snorlax gets some full powers, it's not going to matter. Earthquake's going to clean knock out this Jolteon. Junkie is going to bring in the Kingdra and start Dragon Dancing. Ooh. But Bison's going to come out to 67. He's going to get the power. It will. Kingdra's still faster, but Kingdra can't do that much damage. Waterfall needs to go for Power Flinch here. That's his only out. But Kingdra's really low already. Scizor can just revenge anyway. Snorlax is getting off the rest and is probably the end of the game. It's now faster than Kingdra due to the paralysis in this gen, making it so slow. Never mind, Kingdra's still faster. Kingdra's still faster. Fair enough. Outrage is going to do a ton of Snorlax. Snorlax is going to sleep, so Outrage will knock it out, but you can just bring in Scizor after. Kingdra's going to get paralyzed. Honestly, if I was Snorlax, I would have just gone hard Scizor on Outrage. I don't think you need to risk your... I would have just gone hard Scizor on Outrage because locked in. Don't think you need to risk your Snorlax there. I don't think there's much reason to. It also still beats this Tentacruel. Anyway, Tentacruel's an Ice Beam, pray for the freeze. That's his only play. And Snorlax is going to win the game. I mean, it's Snorlax. It's really good. I mean, the hacks like the Draco miss. I don't think it mattered that much since Altaria didn't do anything and just got revenged anyway. After it knocked out Flygon. Obviously the Bioslam power on Kingdra, I mean, that's Bioslam. You can't really complain about that. So, yeah, very dominant 4-0 from T1, only revealing 4 Pokemon even. Losing Starmie turn 1 looked bad, but it wasn't really that bad. And getting rid of Metagross on turn wasn't bad. 2 unlucky Kingdras in a row. Yeah, I mean, that's the Kingdra game, though. When you play Kingdra, it is what you are signing up for. Like, you have to... it is a very strong Pokemon. It's amazing. I think it had like a 93% bracket rate in the Smogon TPP Cup. But... it does have those risks associated with it. And this guy shows that. Okay, let's get into our... We've reached the halfway point, only an hour in. On to Game 6. Here we have Salvadori versus Noisy. I believe both these players are 1-0 going into this game, if I remember correctly. So looking at the matchup, I think this looks really good for Noisy. Suicune is very strong here. Yes, there's like a Chansey, but now it just really wants to take it on. And sub Suicune can take Chansey because I'm pretty sure its subs aren't broken by size or else. I'm pretty sure that's exactly 100 base HP. Noisy's Brain Room also looking fantastic here. Like, if it gets some SD outside the Quillfish, nothing Ruin wants to come in. Yes, like, Mismagius can come in, but it can't hit it that well, and C-Bomb will blow it away. On Salvador's side, the Flygon looks not bad here, but you do have to get some chip on things. It's not bad, though. I know. I think this is just a heavily matchup favor for Noisy. Mismagius, I can see doing something. I think Nasty Bomb Mismagius would be a very smart bring here. Allows it to boost up faster than Suicune if that comes up. Do a lot of damage with Shadow Ball and Thunderbolt. And, I mean, if you don't think the Amber Bomb is coming, you can just... I mean, even if Amber Bomb comes, it can't do that much to Mismagius anyway outside like a Shadow Claw. You probably live away and knock it out back with +2 Thunderbolt. This Mismagius looks fantastic here, but, overall, I think I have to give Noisy the matchup. Outside of Mismagius, Salvador does have great ways to make progress here. I will say the T-Tar trapping the Rotom could be big, though, because with the rocks from Noisy's side could be a problem, and Hitmontop being able to spin them is nice. Let's go against the game. Beta T-Tar, I don't know. Beta T-Tar is okay here, but like Breloom and Empoleon both can come in on Banded Crunch pretty easily and Banded Stone Edge. I think it would be kind of hard to pull it off. Let's go Salvador versus Noisy. We see Quillfish and Ambipom leave. Ambipom's just going to fake out doing 50. It is a very offensive Quillfish. Oh my god. Fake out, but Poison is going to and the return's going to knock out the Quillfish, so no hazards for the Quillfish here. Noisy off to a fantastic start. Return into the Chansey, and that's probably Choice Band. No, that's not true. That's probably Silk Scarf. I have to guess doing so much damage. Chansey's going to get up rocks, but Ambipom's going to U-turn. This Ambipom doing God's work here. And Empoleon coming on Mismagius. What's Mismagius going to do? It's just going to Thunderbolt doing 39, and Empoleon's going to eat that. But, God, how many freaking Empoleons are going to get full powered by electric moves this tournament? I think it's like the 4th or 5th time we've seen it happen. Not like paralyzed by a side from electric move, I mean. Surfing the Chansey's not going to do much. Chansey's gets soft boiled. What's Empoleon going to do? Empoleon's going to get paralyzed anyway. I swear, Empoleon's just been paralyzed by electric moves so much all tournament. Seismic Toss. Empoleon's going to get the Toxic off, eventually forcing out Chansey. But Chansey's running over own therapy, so it's not going to be forced out at all. This Chansey now completely holds Empoleon's going to force it out. In comes the Breloom. He's going to Seismic Toss, do some good chip, but Toxic Poison means that Breloom's just going to be healing so much damage off. Hitmontop's going to come in on Breloom as a quick Spore. The Hitmontop going to sleep actually really opens Ambipom. In comes the Mismagius, but C-Bomb's going to do a lot of this. Mismagius is very well now. Get a quick Healing Power. Not going to knock out. Let's see if we can... Healing Power, let's see. If I had to guess, I mean, it's probably HP Ice. Because also it's Altaria, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Like, the Healing Power doesn't really matter. It's just Healing Power hits Breloom. Fair enough. Another C-Bomb's going to knock it out. Breloom is a little low now, though. Flygon's going to come in, forcing the Empoleon. Just quick U-turn. Drop in T-Tar. Okay, so T-Tar is going to try and get something going with the Empoleon paralyzed. In comes the Donphan. As T-Tar is just quick Earthquake doing 27. That's not that much. This Donphan's pretty fat, of course. In comes the Hitmontop, but he is asleep, so he is going to be usable. And Donphan gets off a free spin here, getting rid of the rocks. Hitmontop's going to stay asleep as Donphan's going to get up his own Noisy's own rocks. In comes the Rotom to block a potential spin. Yep, it does, and Hitmontop does wake up this turn. Rotom's going to will with this Hitmontop. Hitmontop is running Foresight though, so it will be able to guarantee the spin at minimum. Thunderbolt's going to do 35 to Hitmontop. It's in range of another one after the burn. But at least he gets rid of the rocks. That's something. But Noisy's in such a dominant position now. Donphan's going to come in as Chansey. Good double. Is it packing like superpower or something potentially? No, it's just get the rocks back up. That works too. Seismic Toss into the Donphan, only doing 26. Donson Surfway Queen 2 killing the Chansey without the Violate, that physical attack. Even probably if I'm uninvested, Donphan's doing a ton of damage. Flygon comes in. Is Noisy going to call that? No, he's just got Earthquake. It makes sense. You don't want to like let the Chansey heal up potentially. Flygon's going to U-turn as Donphan stays in. In comes the Hitmontop. What's Donphan going to do here? Just going to knock off game of Hitmontop's leftovers. I mean, the Hitmontop's going to go down to the combination of Sand and Burn this turn, meaning that these rocks are staying up. Tartar's going to come in, quick Ice Beam that will knock out the Donphan, but Salvador is so far behind now. Ambipom comes in. Chances come in. Surely it's clicking a fighting move here. It'll Low Kick. Even though that's a very low-based power on Chansey, it's still going to knock out. Does Ambipom just win the game here? Flygon comes in. It's probably Scarfed, but you just go out to Breloom. Yeah, Breloom's going to take the U-turn. It's a crit, but Breloom barely hangs on. And with the poison, it's going to start. No, actually a sand. Yeah, the crit means Breloom's going to go out to the sand. Meaning this opens up T-Tar quite a bit in this end game. Surf is going to do a chunk, but it is Pasho. Wow. Crunch in this week, only doing 25 over. That is a big drop. Wow. That a crit on Breloom could be game-changing. Surf into the T-Tar as it's going to quick crunch again. Tons of damage on a Suicune. Into Flygon on the Surf. Suicune's going to rest. Okay. Yeah, Breloom being down is now really rough. In comes Rotom. I assume it's going to quit the Dragon move. No, it's going to Earthquake here. Going out to T-Tar, but Rotom can just knock it out. Shallow Ball is not going to knock out, though, but we know T-Tar isn't Scarf. Rotom probably just beats it here. Yeah, Shallow knocks it out. And then Flygon, I don't think Flygon can 1v1 the rest of this team, especially with Ambipom still alive and Fake Out doing so much damage this game. Flygon is going to lock into Outrage. It's not even going to knock out the Rotom. Rotom's a Shallow Ball. Taking our 37 off this Flygon. Rotom's going to go out the sand, but, like, yeah, you just go into Ambipom here. Fake Out probably kills, yeah, from 40, yeah. I'm confident Ambipom was Adamant Silk Scarf because those Fake Outs are doing so much damage. What do you call a fish or a bow tie? So fish or a bow tie? Okay, cool. I don't know it. But yeah, wow. I mean, it was a free but Noisy really dominated that game. The Ambipom lead doing a ton of work, just getting all the damage off and everything, playing that Donphan really well. And outside of, like, the Breloom crit, which kind of put him on the back foot for a moment, he was in control pretty much the entire game. Removing the Qwilfish early so he can't start getting up spikes is huge. Especially like toxic spikes, because if we could have gotten the poison off Donphan early, that may have made a big difference. Oh yeah, but nothing too crazy on prep on your side. Just this Ambipom doing way more work than I usually see it do in DVP. So good job by Noisy. I believe that advanced him to brackets. Go on to the next game. Ome versus Deleted User. Fair enough. So we see Ome versus Deleted User. I believe Ome is 1-0 so far. I think I've seen another game from him. Actually, I might be wrong. I don't know. Actually, I think I'm wrong. I think these are both 0-0 potentially. Anyway, let's just go right into the matchup. Raikou looks very strong here. Nidoqueen's the only real check. Celebi doesn't enjoy taking a Signal Beam. And Nidoqueen isn't amazing here. It does land Bronzong. It does land Gyarados if Gyarados' Wakani can take an electric move. On the Deleted User side, though, of course, this Venusaur actually looks quite solid here as a defensive piece. Obviously, you do have Celebi. Better than that, not a ton wants to come in on it or break it. Something like Leech Seed, HP Fire, Sludge Bomb could be really good. Obviously, Celebi Fairy's a Psychic, but that shouldn't Oko you. Deleted User's Bronzong is also very good here. Obviously, like Suicune can rest on it, but nothing else really wants to take it on that well. I do think on Deleted User's side, Sandslash probably has to come. The spikes from Fortress are very frightening here. And Sandslash obviously is a great Pokemon in this matchup, but it's not terrible either. It can kind of take on Zapdos to an extent. But this week is obviously very frightening. But Raikou plus Venusaur can probably check it. I think I'm going to lean Deleted User on the matchup for Raikou with Raikou and Gyarados here. Let's get into the game. We see Ome on left, Deleted User on rest. We see a Scizor lead. As Ambipom leads, just a quick Fake Out, do only 19 to the Scizor. Scizor's just a quick Scarf U-turn. Scarf Scizor would be a very popular set all tournament. We can see why it does a ton of damage. Fire Punch does nothing into the Arcanine. Out comes the Zapdos. What's Arcanine get a click? Sub. Ooh, it's maybe a more offensive Arcanine then. Arcanine's go. Zapdos get speed. Arcanine's get Toxic, so it's a sub-toxic Arcanine. That also means that Zapdos, depending on the Arcanine speed, this could be a fast Zapdos. Zapdos just get a U-turn out. Bring in Suicune on Arcanine. What's Arcanine get a click here? It's just going to sub. It can get a Toxic off on Suicune now, too. Back up to Zapdos, you obviously don't want to risk your Suicune getting Toxic. And based on that, it makes me think it's probably not rest, based on switching there. But it could still be rest, just not wanting to get Toxic too early. Thunderbolt knocking out the Arcanine. Arcanine's going to quick Morning Sun, healing back to full. Zapdos Thunderbolt only going to do 30. Arcanine Flare's going to do a good chip here, as Zapdos is going to be getting really low from this Toxic. Zapdos is going to U-turn out into Nidoqueen. Arcanine's clearly going to sub or more. It does sub. Arcanine can't just get off a Morning Sun here, get healed in as Nidoqueen breaks the sub. Nidoqueen's going to break it with Earthquake, and Arcanine is going to be finally forced out, but he made a lot of progress there. Bronzong is going to come in as Neoqueen clicks Earthquake. It's going to do nothing, obviously. Fortress coming on the Bronzong. Bronzong's going to get rocks, but Fortress can't spin these. Bronzong clicking HP Fire, doing 50. If this Fortress is leftover, so it's not to a KO, it is not to a KO. Bronzong's going to get rocks. Fortress is going to get rocks as well. So these rocks now on the inside are very big. Neoqueen going to come in on the HP Fire. But these rocks staying up is really rough for Zapdos, so it's already down to 42% and Toxic. Grumpig is going to come in on the Neoqueen, taking nothing from Flamethrower. Grumpig's a very interesting bring. It's a very cheap Pokemon. It does some stuff in its gen. It's not amazing, but it's doable. Psychic's going to do 18 to Celebi. That's more than I would have expected, honestly. Grumpig's going to switch out. Celebi's just going to paralyze this Bronzong. Clicking HP Fire, only doing 24. And the Para is actually going to boost Gyro Ball's damage. So that's what I'm doing for everyone. Bronzong is going to take the top due to Boom, but because Celebi recovered, it is out of range. Scarf Scissors is going to come in and pursuit the Celebi. So it's going to guarantee knock out Celebi, which was a big threat here. Flurry comes in, obviously can take advantage of that by spinning. Is going to do so. Out to Zapdos, but Archon can probably just Flare Blitz or sub here. Yeah, let's get a sub. Zapdos is going to roost up here. Archon's presumably going to Morning Sun. Yeah. Yeah, Grumpig is a neat low tier. If everything gets 3 points, that's pretty solid. Archon's going to Flare, but get some good chip on Zapdos. Zapdos is getting low again. This Zapdos staying low is really rough because that's going to open up Scizor immensely. Thunderbolt doing 32 as Archon's going to Toxic again, predicting the Suicune to come in. Zapdos is very low. It's just going to Thunderbolt again. Yeah, Archon can't just Morning Sun here or sub. It's going to sub as keeping up the sub as Zapdos goes down Toxic. Ampom's going to come in. It's going to fake out that. I'm surprised. Wait. Why are you clicking fake out into a sub? Don't you just click a stronger move like return? I don't know, but Fuerbus is going to knock it out. Like, there's a chance fake out wouldn't have broken that sub if it's like really bulky, but I don't know. Whatever works out. Suicune comes down Arcanine. Arcanine's going to switch out to Grumpig. As Suicune is just going to quick Surf to 39. Wow. It's going to be framed out by the Grumpig. Grumpig is going to quick Trick Scarf onto the Fortress is nice, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But it doesn't matter because Grumpig is just going to knock out HP Fire anyway. Suicune's going to come in here. Grumpig is forced out, and the Arcanine is the sack. And Suicune's going to start Calm Minding. But against those two Pokemon on the back, including this Venusaur, Ice Beam is going to do 72. It is going to freeze the Venusaur. Oh no, Venusaur has the Citrus Berry, but that freeze is devastating. Switching out into Scizor. As we can get a second Calm Mind here. Scizor should go to U-turn, now into 29. Back out into Grumpig. This Suicune is looking at prime position because of that freeze. Surface is going to knock it out. Aiden is going to go back into Scizor, but this U-turn isn't going to do enough. It's not going to 4-hit KO. But the U-turn crit combating that freeze, oh my god. Surface knock it out, but now it's in range of another U-turn. Suddenly that crit is changing the entire game for Aiden. Raikou comes in, the Suicune surely in range. Yeah, just going to sack the Suicune. I mean, I feel like, don't you just go Neoqueen there anyway? Like, Suicune can maybe do something later if Scizor walks into Bullet Punch or something. Yeah, I don't agree with sacking the Suicune there. But anyway, Neoqueen's going to come in. Raikou's going to quick Life Orb Extra Sensory, do a ton of damage. Neoqueen will knock it back out, but surely Scizor has a way to KO Neoqueen from 45, right? Does it? What's Scizor going to click? Scizor's going to Double Edge, and oh my god, freaking Double Edge is going to knock it out. Double Edge is really cool here. It actually hits like Zapdos really hard. So yeah, very close game. Good win by Deleted User. Very nice Arcanine set. I like the trick Grumpig. Just played very well. I mean, that Ice Beam freeze was very scary at the end, but he kept his hand in the game, and he did get that crit on Suicune, which obviously mattered, but like, I don't think Ome can complain after freezing the Venusaur. Yep, nothing too crazy on Ome's side. We have a good prep and play on both sides. Deleted User is going to take the win, though. Move on to game 8. And we are already 75 minutes into the stream, my god. Let's go into this next one. Foul versus JC. So, I believe Foul is 1-0, JC is 0-1. I could be wrong, but that sounds right to me. So, obviously, Foul looking for brackets. JC looking to save his tournament life. Let's go right into the matchup here. So, first off, Foul's Azelf looks very strong here. I mean, yes, the Croc can revenge it, but Psychic plus Fire hits this team really hard. I could see I can see like some sort of offensive set. I can even see if you think you can eliminate the Metagross earlier, like some sort of Salic set to outspeed the Crobat. I can also see maybe Scarf, because Scarf Psychic is not bad here. Flamethrower also hits Metagross really hard. And then you frame the Scarf Boom onto Raikou if it gets out of hand, which I think will be really useful here. Flygon also looking pretty good. Obvious Hitmontop's a decent switch into it. And the Heatran kind of necessitates JC bring the Wayward when Wayward kind of sucks. So that's a good thing for Foul, forcing the Wayward to come. On JC side, Raikou looks pretty solid, but he does have to watch out for Boom, Azelf, and Scarf Flygon. JC's Metagross actually is very strong here. Obviously, it's a Heatran, but if you can catch out with an Earthquake, I mean, even like you just run Agility on the Metagross and an Earthquake, you'll just blow up the Heatran if it's not Shuckle Berry. And Heatran is not that hard for this team to wear down. If it is leftovers to recover health, it'll just drop to Earthquake. So I think Agility Metagross is very likely. I think it's probably his best day in this matchup. Hitmontops, we just see a Roserade Mirror. In Hitmontops, there's two Hitmontops. So Roserade Hitmontop Mirror, funny enough. Foul's Hitmontop can't spin pretty easily, but JC's going to have a harder time into this Magius, so Foul Spikes might stay up longer, and that could really matter into the Metagross in the Hitmontop. Let's again say again, I think I'm going to lean Foul in this matchup. So Foul's going to lead Azelf, JC's going to lead Raikou. Azelf's going to Psychic Turn 1 to 58. Raikou's got Thunderbolt and just O-Code as Azelf. It is Life Orb. Wow, Azelf going down turn 1. Flygon going to come in, force it out with the Threat of an Earthquake. It's just got a U-turn though. Misbag is going to come in on the Hitmontop, forcing the Kangaskhan. Once Misbag is going to quick. Psychic's going to do 32. Kangaskhan is going to sub as the Hitmontop comes in. Interesting. Mach Punch is going to break the sub. Kangaskhan's going to quick return. Only just 21. Close Combat's going to hit the Roserade for 44. Wow, that's like wild damage. To be fair, it makes sense. I mean, if you're Mach Punch hit on top, you probably want some attack investment. Giga Drain's going to come out to 41 to Pelipper. I'm surprised to see the Pelipper here at all. And crit air slash is 66 to Wayward, forcing Wayward to self-destruct, knocking out the Pelipper. So two really shitty water types trading for each other here. Fair enough, I guess. The Wayward going down does open a potential Heatran in the back for Foul, though. Metagross comes in. He's got quick agility. Yeah, makes this the best set here. Hitmontop's going to Sucker Punch for negligible damage. And Metagross can just Meteor Mash here. Yeah, it's going to be a 2-hit KO. Or, well, not necessarily 2-hit KO after all these. But unless this, yeah, it doesn't have like Aving. Meteor Mash is going to come off again. Get the boost. Earthquake might even knock out for a Shuckle Berry now at +1. Oh, wait, what? Metagross is not running Earthquake in the Heatran matchup. You ran Thunder Punch for Pelipper and not Earthquake for Heatran. It's going to get rewarded by dodging a Magma Storm. What the fuck? It's going to Thunder Punch again. It's going to dodge. No, Metagross. Okay, so at least the Metagross goes down, but that Heatran's going to take an extra 40% for no reason. HP Ground's just going to pick it off. Wow, yeah, it was Shuckle the whole time, but like at +1, Earthquake probably KOs through Shuckle, honestly, unless it's a super physically defensive Heatran. Wow, yeah, that Magma Storm miss is very unfortunate. It is only 70% accurate in the shed to make up for its high her power. They could have thought Sucker Punch was super effective, but it barely did anything anyway. Second from Mismatch could come off on the Roserade, and Mismatch could get paralyzed. Into Hitmontop, what's Roserade gonna quick? Just Giga Drain, get off another 30 into this Hitmontop and can knock it out on the next turn. Raikou's going to come in. As Hitmontop quicks Mach Punch. Raikou is in reach of another one now. But the Raikou's packing Extreme Speed, getting more chip on this Hitmontop. What's going to come in here? We see the Hitmontop come in from JC's side. Forcing him to Mismagius, but Mismagius still looks fine here. I mean, even Paralyzed, it still frames this out, right? Kangaskhan's going to come in, but Psychic's going to do a ton. Yeah, another 30% to it. Into Hitmontop, get the Intimidate on Kangaskhan. Return is going to get the Hitmontop low, but Hitmontop can't cook Mach Punch here. Never mind, oh my god, the Kangaskhan Sucker Punch doesn't even knock out because of Intimidate. That's crazy, and Hitmontop can knock out with Mach Punch. It does force out the Kangaskhan there. Wild stuff. Mach Punch Hitmontop can do virtually nothing to JC Hitmontop. Hitmontop's going to cook Foresight expecting the Mismag to come in. And a crit close combat. Oh no, that's so much damage to this Hitmontop. And yeah, Foul's Hitmontop can do another 21. JC Sipman top go and knock it out, but like this might be too late. That's really unfortunate crit there. Flygon comes in. Flygon probably has queens here. Roseray comes in, but Earthquake's just go win the game. Yeah, neither of these take a hit at even at -1. I mean, Earthquake's not gonna. Maybe Kogon Kangaskhan tried to take it at -2, but I don't think it would have mattered. And Flygon's just gonna clean up the game. Yeah, so I don't know if JC threw. I think he. I mean, if it was a rush match, I think he threw in prep. If anything, we're not running Earthquake on Metagross. That's kind of wild. I mean, Pelipper and Wayward Cummings kind of fighting. Neither of them really did anything except take out each other. Yeah, but pretty basic prep. Kangaskhan Cummings neat. I think it really came down a lot to the Metagross not running Earthquake because, I mean, I want to calculate +1 Metagross Earthquake into Shuckleberry Heatran. I want to see how much this does. Let's just for curiosity's sake, let's go to DBP here. Heatran from Metagross, Agility, +1 into Shuckleberry. Like, it would have been a roll at if it's max HP, if it's like physically someone kill, but still, you've got so much damage there. So yeah, very good win for Val here. I believe that does move him in the back as it knocks out JC. Go on to our penultimate game for the stream. We're on to game 9. Basiago versus Pokology. I believe Basiago is 0-1 and Pokology is 1-0, or I think Pokology might be 1-1 already. I don't remember seeing 1 or 2 Pokology games. I do know Basiago is fighting for his life here, though. Looking at the matchup, Raiko's not bad here. Thunderbolt plus Shallow is the team pretty hard, and Magneton can't do shit back to you. Except eventually Boom. You do have to watch her for that. And the fighting also looks quite solid. Dragon's pretty spammable here with neither Steel type really wanting to come in on it. I will say, though, Iago's Rotom looks pretty solid. As long as you can eliminate the Raikou, I mean, it's easier said than done. Blaziken actually is a fantastic matchup here. Yes, there's a Kovish, but no Intimidate means it does take a ton of damage from Earthquake, which Blaziken's going to be running for Heatran most likely anyway. Yeah, Scarf Blaziken looks fantastic here. Also frames the Raikou really well. Kingdra Pokology side is terrifying, though. The only water resist is Suicune. So that's a very worrying. Lucario and Iago, this is a very offensive matchup. Both sides have a ton of offensive threats that are really good into each other. Not much else to really say here. I think I lean towards Pokology, but it can honestly go either way. Let's get right into the game. Arrow lead and Gallade lead. Gallade's got a quick Scarf Close Combat doing 93 to this Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl's going to get up rocks. Hard out into Raikou on the Rotom switch. Scarf Rotom's going to cook Shallow Ball, but Raikou's going to cook Shallow Ball and do a lot more here. Scarf Rotom's going to be forced out into Blaziken and on the Heatran. So, in Blaziken's just quick Scarf Superpower, but Heatran's Chople for presumably the Lucario and Blaziken should just knock out an Earth Power. Yeah, Blaziken's going to go down. Suicune can't come in here. Just going to sub, Heatran's going to say fuck that, and boom, tell Suicune, no, you cannot try and sub or CM on me. And this lets Raikou come in here. Raikou's going to Thunderbolt presumably into the Claydol. It's just going to quick Reflect, actually. Wow. Fly Guy's going to come in on the Claydol. Claydol's just going to stay up. So both sides have a screen out now. Interesting. Fly Guy's just going to quick U-turn as the Lucario comes in, trying to make some progress. But Quovish can just come in here easily. Quovish is going to Rain Dance, opening up Pokology's Kingdra Foyer and Waterfall, or just itself. Waterfall's going to knock out that Rotom. Suicune's going to come in, but yeah, Quovish can just boom, obviously, and just take out the Suicune. And that was the one Kingdra check. Lucario's going to come in, but Kingdra will obviously have extreme speed. Yeah, Waterfall's going to Oko. It's physical, and that's just the end of the game. Aerodactyl was obviously not Scarf. Yeah, that's it. Claydol coming in, Claydol slower. Yeah, no, this is over. I mean, wow, a really short one. Very dominant win by Pokology. I mean, getting rid of early, the Aero Super Low early, knocking out the Blaziken. I mean, there wasn't much he could have done about Kingdra anyway. Like, as soon as Iago let Suicune get boomed on, the game pretty much ended. Like, you have a great situation, but you have a 7% Aero. Just go, right? Was Aero still alive? Yeah. Just go out to your 7% Aero instead of going into Suicune on the Quillfish. You just, that way, it just waterfalls. Like, you can saw a Rain Turn, maybe? I don't know. I feel like you don't ever sack your Suicune there. I feel like you would rather, I mean, nothing else really took a waterfall, but I don't know. I feel like you have to scout for the boom. Like, you go Suicune and then you double into something because it's so obviously going to boom. Yeah, but big win for Pokology here. On to our last game of this very long stream. So let's go right into it. We have Pluto versus Big Bandar. So looking at the matchup here, we do see, let's see. Firstly, Pluto's Rotom is pretty difficult for Big Bandar to break down outside Jolteon. And Jolteon can't do like shit into... Actually, Jolteon's pretty good. There's no ground type, actually. Jolteon looks very strong now. Speed ties the core battle, everything else. Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, HP ground hits this team really hard. In fact, Pluto's team has very little priority, so I can even see running Life Orb on Jolteon. Obviously, the Hitmontop is a little worrying with its priority, but Celebi can't come in on that pretty easily. Yeah, I will say the rocks from Pluto are pretty good here because Cloyster does have a great matchup. It'll be really hard for Cloyster to spin here. It might come over Rhyperior because Rhyperior is also pretty bad here. Heatran on Pluto's side, very scary, but Rhyperior gives a decent check to it if it's throwing like Spadef with Solid Rock. Celebi Mirror, honestly, I don't think your Celebi's amazing here. Pluto Celebi's a little better, but it's still not like perfect into Infernape and like Togekiss and stuff. I think I'm gonna wean Pluto still in the matchup. I think he has a slight edge, but this Jolteon and Infernape combo from Big Bandar is very scary. Pluto left, Big Bandar right with Link and Shaman Sky, very cool. And Kratos got Earthquake on turn 1, getting 57 off from Rhyperior. And they just get forced into Celebi. Kratos could get Brox. So this Kratos did Brox at 57 to a Rhyperior. That's the most I've ever seen a Kratos do outside LC. Celebi's just get a nasty pot though. Fake out from Hitmontop. Going to do a bit of chip with the Life Orb. That's not going to do that much. Sucker Punch is going to do 70. That's Celebi super low now. Psyche is going to knock out the Hitmontop. Now, Pluto's going to bring in his own Celebi. He's just going to U-turn. That makes me think it's Scarf if he was confident bringing it in. In comes Milotic. No. Stop running Flame Orb, Milotic, and DPP. For fuck's sake, this set is so bad. I mean, at least for once, the person running Flame Orb isn't using or going against Sand, but just stop running fucking Flame Orb, please. It brings me so much pain. You're just chipping yourself for no reason. Celebi a comment on Jolteon. I mean, the thing is, like, well, against matchup, you don't need the Flame Orb. Like, you just physically defensive Milotic takes 2 close combats from Infernape anyway, from Banded. Your Milotic is good enough natural bulk that it doesn't need it here. It's forced out by the Scarf Celebi. It's just a Weak Storm taking down the Rhyperior. Infernape is going to come in. Celebi's going to be forced into Milotic, but, like, Infernape's going to get a nasty pot, and that means that this Milo taking his chip from Flame Orb, putting in range of Focus Blast. Or Fire's going to do 50. Sure, Milo can take it out, but then Milo's going to go down to its own Flame Orb here. Or live on 1%, but it dies to Rocks down anyway, and Poleon can just knock it out. And Poleon's going to click Agility. Milo's presumably going to... just go Ice Beam. Okay, I feel like you could have recovered there, but at least tried for it. Anyway, in comes the Rotom. And Poleon's going to be forced out into Jolteon here. As Rotom Pain Splits, the Jolteon actually healing off of that attack. Celebi comes in. Jolteon's probably going to Shadow Ball and knock out the Celebi, yeah. Pluto's last Pokemon is Heatran, okay. It's Scarf Heatran, so that Magnastorm's going to take out the Jolteon. What's going to come in? The Empoleon's going to come in. Magnastorm miss again. It's only 70% accurate in this gen. And Empoleon's going to get off the free agility. Surf knocking out the Heatran. That might be the end of the game. Also, we do still have the Rotom. The Kratos is going to come in here. It's going to quick Endure, so it's Endure Custap. Okay. Let's go with the Surf, and now it might force out the Empoleon of Earthquake. Yeah, this Kratos actually forced out the Agility Earth. Empoleon forcing in Togekiss. This Kratos has done so much work. He got Rocks up 57% and forced out the Empoleon of the Fray of Custap. Rotom comes in, though. Can Rotom win the endgame? It probably can, actually. Thunderbolt knocking out the Togekiss. And will Thunderbolt do enough to Empoleon? It is, and wow, that Kratos, it did get knockouts, but he got the Rock. Actually, I think something was sacked to Rocks, but yeah. Got the Rocks, got 50%, 7% off Rhyperior, forced out the Empoleon. My god, what a hell of a showcase from that Kratos. Crazy work for a one-pointer. Especially a one-pointer I've never actually seen anyone draft before. No, nothing else too crazy on your side. You have pretty basic prep. But yeah, good one for Pluto. And we are going to call the stream there. It has been 90 minutes. It's probably one of the longer streams I've done. So I'm going to call it. And I'll see you all next time.